The Department of Defense work breakdown structure, military handbooks, 88-1. Chapter 1, General Information 1-1, Handbook of the Purpose of the Structure. The handbook presents a guideline with the preparing, understanding, presenting of the work breakdown structure. The general purpose of the work breakdown structure is discussed in Chapter 1. The handbook provides instruction on how to develop the work breakdown structure or program work breakdown structure. In Chapter 2, Chapter 3, other guidance developing, implementing contract work breakdown structure or contract work breakdown structure. Chapter 4 explains the role of the work of the work contract the role of the work of the break-in structuring, contract negotiation, award, and post-grant contract performance. The appendix of the present definition of the work breakdown structure, specific applications, the handbook, primary objective to achieve consistent applications of the work breakdown structure. The information contained is intended to provide guidance for the contracted direction for the government and project managers. 1-2, support documentation. The foundation of the work breakdown structure is contained in the Department of Defense Directive 5001 and Department of Defense Regulation 5002 R. The documents identified with the responsibility acquisition process for the Office of Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Defense to the Department of Defense component field activities preparing a work breakdown structure is generally discussed in the context of planning, monitoring defensive material system programs. 1-3, intended use of the handbook. The handbook is primarily preparation for the work breakdown structure for the defensive material. This includes all material items, the major amount of modifications established in the integral program element of the future years of the defense program, otherwise designated the Department of Defense component or under the Secretary of Defense acquisition technology. The guidance is appropriate for the use of the work breakdown structure developed in any phase of the concept, exploration, program, definition, risk reduction, engineering, manufacturing, development, and production during the acquisition process. The handbook clearly delineates the overlapping responsibility of the Department of Defense program managers and contract-related work breakdown structures. 1-4, what does the work breakdown structure accomplish? 141, application. The handbook addresses the two fundamental and interrelated types of work of the breakdown structure. The program work breakdown structure and the contract work breakdown structure. The program provides the framework for the specified the objectives of the program and defines the program in terms of the hierarchical related to the product-orientated elements. Each element provides a logistic summary points for the assessing technical accomplishment for measuring costs and schedule performance. The contract work breakdown structure of the government approved the work breakdown structure for the reporting purposes discretionary extension from lower levels by the contract in accordance with the government direction of the contract work statement. It includes all the elements of the product, hardware, software, data, and services which are responsible for the contractor. Further, the work breakdown structure serves the coordinated with the medium through the work program, work breakdown structure, contract, work breakdown structure, the documented resources allocated with the extent and a technical schedule of the cost data routinely generated for the reporting purpose of the work breakdown structure, summarized for the data for the successive levels of management, provided with the appropriate information on the projected actual current status elements for which they are responsible. The work breakdown structure keeps the program status constantly visible so that the program manager and the cooperation with the contractor can identify and implement changes necessary to assure desired performance. 142, benefits. The work breakdown structure assists in several ways during the life of the program. A work breakdown structure in bulletins, separate defense material items, the components, parts, making relationship with the parts clear and relationship of the tasks to be completed to each of the other and to the end product clear. Significantly effective in planning assignment for the management technical responsibilities. Assist in tracking status of engineering efforts, resource allocations, cost estimates, expenditures, and cost and technical performance. Helps ensure the contractors are not necessarily constrained in meeting the item requirements. 143, challenges. The primary challenge is to develop the work breakdown structure that defines the logical relationship between all the elements of the program in natural extension and with the contract with defense. Defining of the contract work breakdown structure of the third level of the indentured does not constrain the contractor's ability to define the management program or resource that of the government consider the elements to the program high cost and high risk. The system may be to define in lower level the work breakdown structure the reason as long as the product-oriented logic extension is maintained. In any event of the contractor should extend all of the elements to the level from the contractor desired based on the way of the system developed and produced and managed. A second challenge is the balance of the program definition expected with the work breakdown structure with the data generation aspects using availability data to build historical historic files to aid the future development similar to defensive material items, the very valuable resources. However, the primary purpose of the work breakdown structure is to define the program structure that needs the data should not be distort or hinder the program definition. 1.5. How is the work breakdown structure related to other contracting requirements? The work breakdown structure provides the basis of communication through the acquisition process. It is the common link with the unifies the planning with the scheduling, cost estimating, budgeting, contracting, configuration management, performance reporting disciplines. Through the consistent communications, it permits the government and industry management managers to evaluate the progress in terms of the contract performance. The work breakdown structure for the basis of the reporting structure used for the contracts requiring compliance with the earned value management system. Criteria replaced with placed on the contractor's data report. Cost performance reports and the contracting funding statement status reports and cost schedule status reports. Definition. The definition provided with the following paragraphs are intended to improve the continuity throughout the acquisition process to support a common understanding of the program expectations. Sorry. 161 Program Element. This term is the basic building block of the future of the defense program. Describes the mission to undertake an listed organizational entity identified with the performing the mission assignment that properly elevated with making consist with the force of the manpower, material, both in real and personal probably services associated with costs and as applicable. 162 The main defensive material item. The idea system of the item usually established for the integral program elements identifies the project with the aggregated program element. 163 The work breakdown structure. The term is defined as product-oriented family tree caused by the hardware, software, services, data, and the facilities. The family tree results from the system engineering efforts during the acquisition of defensive material item. The work breakdown structure defines the product or products to be developed and or produced. It relates to the elements of the work established at each of the other and the end of the product. The work breakdown structure can be expressed down into any level of interest. However, the top of the three levels are as far as any of the program contract needs to go unless the item is identified with the high cost, high risk. Only then it is important to take the work breakdown structure to a lower level of definition. Work breakdown structure applies to 7 specific categories. Defensive material summaries that those categories provided below. Complete definitions are listed with Appendix A through H, just in the system that is defined with development through the life cycle costs. The work breakdown structure will be developed and maintained based on the system engineering efforts throughout the system life cycle. Alright, 164 Common Elements. The term identified with the elements are applicable to all several major systems. The common elements are integration, assembly, testing, and checking out efforts. System engineering, program management, training, data, system testing, evaluation, peculiar support, equipment, common support, equipment, operation, site activation, industrial facilities, initial spare, and repairs. In addition of those common elements, each defense system has unique, complex equipment or hardware or software that defines the capability of ending of the product of that system. The aircraft system applies to the fixed and movable wing, rotary wing, compound wing, unmanned air vehicles designed for powered, unpowered, glider-guided flight. Electronic automatic software system applies to electronic automated system software system capability. The missile systems applies to the weapons operational environment, which produces destructive effect on the selected targets. Ordnance systems apply to all munitions, nuclear, biochemical, physiological, pyrotechnic, and means the launching of the firing of them. Shipping systems applies to naval weapons performing the naval task at the sea. Space systems applies to developing, delivering, maintaining missions, payloads of the specific orbit, placement, or operation recovery of the manned and unmanned space systems. One surface vehicle system applies to navigating over the surface. 165 level of identification. The top 3 levels of specified in work breakdown structure. Level 1 in the entire defense material item. For example, the electronic system. The electronic system might be the command and control system, and the radar system, communication system, and information system, a sensor system, and the navigation guidance for the electronic warfare system. Level 1 usually directed, identified with the program sub-element of the program. Level 2 elements of major elements of the defensive material. For the example, the fire control, automatic flight control system. These primary missions products include all hardware, software elements, aggregations of the system level services like system evaluation, system engineering, program management, and data. Level 3 elements, the elements subordinate to the level 2 major elements. For the example, radar, data process, signal processor, and an antenna. The type of the services like developing, testing, and evaluation, the contractor technical support, and the training services. A type of data like technical publications would be typical level 3 elements of electronic system. Lower levels follow the same process. 166 Program Work Breakdown Structure. The program work breakdown structure structures the encompassing of the entire program, and it consists of at least 3 levels of the program when the associated definitions used by the government program manager or contract to develop the extended contract work breakdown structure. The program work breakdown structure, the uniform technology definition placement, and the product oriented tree structure. 167, the contract work breakdown structure. The contract work breakdown structure, the complete work breakdown structure for the contract, includes the Department of and its approved program, and the work breakdown structure is extended for the agreed with the contract. Reporting level to any discretion extension for the lower levels of reporting other than purposes to include all elements of the product, hardware, software, data, services, which are responsible for the contract. Comprehensive work breakdown structure from the framework for the contractor management control system. Alright, 1-7, work breakdown structure evolution. Throughout the life cycle of any system, the system engineering function takes the lead of the system development. This includes development of the system specification function. Specifications are a set of configuration items of the system engineering process. Impacts the relation, requires analysis, functional analysis, allocation, synthesis, system analysis, and control, satisfying total system cost, schedule, performance requirements, and acceptable level of the risk of the important factor. The purpose of the effort is to define the design and system product of the process, solution of the items, design requirements to satisfy the functional architect to define the integrated with the system physical architecture. The Department of Defense program manager plays a key role in the process system defined with developing through the life cycle. The program manager can be understood with the work breakdown structure. Figure 1.1 provides an illustration of the system life cycle. The work breakdown structure follows the same path. Alright, figure 1.1 shows the system life cycle. I'm going to zoom on to that. You have your pre-concept, your concept exploration, the definition of risk and reduction, engineering, manufacturing, development, pre-deployment, and in operations support. Between each of these six cycles, there's a M1S, order 1, order 2, order 3, order 4, and the MS goes from 0 to 4, and specification, configuration, baselines with the system specification, development, specification, product, specification, process, material specification, functional, allocated, and product, major technical reviews. Throughout the concept phase of the program work breakdown structure, usually early stage development, since the system mainly concept and not unit, but the program defined risk reduction phase of the system described in the terms of the specification. If the program is large enough, the contract work breakdown structure can be defined in the phase of the configuration items. Describing the work breakdown structure, the first identified contract approved the development this item. By the end of the development, the work breakdown structure fully developed, and the lowest level of the contract work breakdown structure is extended to those levels that best define the system. Figure 1.2 displays the evolution process. Our figure 1.2 is the work breakdown structure evolution. The concept study of the proposed program work breakdown structure, the program approval of the proposed program work breakdown structure, definition of risk and reduction. The proposed approved work breakdown structure goes to 3 different items, which are 1, the contracting work breakdown structure and extension, 2, the work contracting work breakdown structure and extension, and the number 2 contracting work breakdown structure, any other contracts, if any, and then from there it goes from definition risk reduction goes to development of approved program work breakdown structures, also with the same number 1 contractor work breakdown structure, and 2, the contractor work breakdown structure extension, contractor, if any, and production, and then from development it goes into production. Improved program work breakdown structure 1, the collective number 1 and 2 contractor work breakdown structures and extension or other contractors, if any. The study phases are the concept, study and approval, program approval, while the program acquisition phase of definition, development, and production. After the program work breakdown structure approved, the contractor work breakdown structure may extend the lower level of the contract defined with the complex contract scope. The integrated program work breakdown structure and extended with the contractor work breakdown structure form a complete work breakdown structure, which should be used throughout the acquisition cycle. The figure 1.2 displays the process, definition, risk reduction, development, deployment, and production blocks. Chapter 2, program management instructions.